your focus has strongly been on vernacular. Do you feel you're also taking away? This is one strong stigma, right? Is that if you are not fluent in English, and it's something which is innate in all of us,
Yeah.
you kind of feel like it's not just a lack of confidence. You feel like you lack in capability. I know that's changed over time, but what I want to ask you is that have you seen the fact that because you have focused your content and focused all the activities you do on this area, have you seen that it's almost a way for people to evolve from finding confidence without having English as their first spoken language? Do you feel this is one of the ways to really push it ahead? Because that's where confidence goes, right?
Yeah.
You judge yourself, you think of confidence like, oh, 1 second, I won't be able to do this right. All those questions come down from the basic sense that I can't communicate in English the way someone else might. Do you feel that's changed?
It has for a certain section. So I would say that for someone who's still super young, which is say 16 to 25, and they need to get a job, English is a medium to be able to do that. It's almost like a seat on the table, right? So even when we speak to our users, it's not so much jobs also, it's about respect. That when I go to college and I can't speak in English, I feel inferior. When I'm in a meeting room and my boss is speaking in English, I feel inferior. So there are a lot of reasons why people want to learn English, and I don't think there's anything changing about that.
Yeah.
But in the older audiences, we've seen this difference come about. You know, if you don't speak in English, what platform do you have today to go and talk? Nobody will know you exist.
Yeah.
Unless you write about it yourself, right? Through some of the user-generated writing mediums. So just the fact that now someone can come and share their story on a stage and there are other people who are lauding their efforts has created the sense of purpose in a lot of people. And we see that like deep-rooted, especially down south as well. It didn't exist as a medium. And people are so much more confident giving a talk in their native language.
100%.
Like if you were to do it in Telugu, which you have to,
Yeah.
like I feel it would be so natural, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel the worry also comes, and I partially blame the way we were all. I don't think entirely. Partially also blame the way we were educated for it. Right? Is that I remember learning Hindi in school, and I remember learning Telugu in school. The way that sounded and the way people normally speak Hindi or Telugu is not the same. Like I've not heard anybody say "hai" at the end of every sentence, but that is literally every sentence we had in the textbooks. I eventually learned Hindi by watching Bollywood. All my Hindi was
That's
learned with
awesome.
that, and thankfully I had friends who were Punjabi when I went to engineering, and that's how I learned to speak Hindi. I just hung around with people who were speaking Hindi all the time, and I'm like, and while it had my South Indian accent in it and all that stuff, it eventually evolved. But it's also about like even Telugu for me was like how I spoke Telugu normally wasn't the Shuddh Telugu that you normally get. So I feel the worry for a lot of people also is that this might be natural to me, but will I sound a little too like colloquial, thoda local sound aa jayega. It won't sound like pure in that sense. At least for me, that's been a barrier, right? Like I will do it, but okay, will it just sound a little? Because you talk at home when you talk a little like casually.
Yeah.
Na? The worry is to be casual. English feels a lot more formal.
Yeah, but I think like if you look at content that does well on the internet, right?
Yeah.
It's completely authentic.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're in a natural flow of conversation, it's much better than anything else, right? Like I did a talk recently and I used the word shiddat. And people were just like, messaging me saying, do you even know what this means? And like, I fell off the chair when I heard you say this. And I'm just like, no, but if you're in a moment, sometimes there's just something that comes to you and you just have to let it flow the way that it does. It's not a language then, it's an emotion. And a way to depict that emotion could be a colloquial language or it could be something that you said in English. It doesn't matter, right?
Did that make you rethink things? If it did, make sure you check out the full episode.